Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at xm.com. I'm Maria Pachardis and joining me is Senior Investment Analyst Rafi Boyadjian. We'll be discussing upcoming economic data out of the UK and the outlook for the pound. So Rafi, on Wednesday, we'll get the UK's first quarter GDP estimates. Now, generally speaking, the UK economy is over-dependent on the services sector, and it has been struggling from the Brexit mess. So should we expect the estimates for the first quarter to be pretty bad?
That's right, Maria. So we are expecting pretty bad numbers. We already had quite dismal data from the US, from the Eurozone, and the UK will be no different. So we're expecting the UK economy to have contracted by 2.5% over the quarter. And this comes despite the fact that the UK went into lockdown in late March. But as you said, because the UK economy is overly dependent on the services sector, even just those 2 weeks being shut down in the first quarter, it meant a lot of service sector businesses such as retailers and restaurants not operating at all, and that would have weighed on economic output.
So if Wednesday's numbers are indeed gloomy, how is the pound likely to react?
Well, it's quite possible that most of the what's happening right now has already been priced into the pound. In fact, the pound, at least relative to some other currencies such as the euro, hasn't been doing too badly, and that's because the massive stimulus we've had from the government and the Bank of England, so that has supported sentiment regarding the UK economic outlook and in turn the pound. But of course, should we get worse than expected GDP numbers, we could potentially see a bit of a sell-off in the pound because the Bank of England has signaled that it could provide further monetary stimulus should the UK economy require it.
And finally, now that the lockdown measures are being eased in the UK as well, what's the outlook for the pound?
Well, the outlook remains cloudy. So even though we are seeing the gradual lifting of lockdowns in the UK, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, announced over the weekend that the UK actually will just be taking baby steps in terms of lifting its lockdown. So it's going to be a much more gradual process in the UK than we're seeing in other European countries and even perhaps to the US compared to the US. So it's looking quite possible that most UK businesses will be forced to stay shut for much of the second quarter, which means things are going to get much worse in Q2. And of course, until we see some kind of a vaccine or the virus spread being completely contained, then we're going to have a partial shutdown for the foreseeable future. And of course, as far as the UK is concerned, we also have Brexit still on the horizon. So all of those things will probably weigh on the pound for the coming months at least.
Rafi, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us at xm.com.